Daily Half Acre Homestead. I know it's been forever since we brought you a video, and I apologize. To our credit though, there just hasn't been anything going on really that has changed a whole lot. I mean, what we have here is pretty much the same as what we've been showing you. We do have some additions, but the way we're going to do this, we're probably going to bring you a mini Rex update. Then we're going to baby update. Then we're going to bring you, because since everybody pretty much knows that Hershey and Twix left, nothing really else has changed as far as adult mini Rex and breeders. So it's just the babies. We pretty much got what we showed you before. They're just bigger, and we've got one litter over here that has grown up quite a bit since we showed them to you last. I think they were like this the last time you saw them, and they've gotten considerably bigger. So we thought you'd enjoy seeing how they have progressed. So we're gonna shoot a few videos today, or try to, at least that's the plan. We're gonna do some mini Rex, show you some mini Rex babies right now, and then in a separate video we're gonna show you some New Zealand babies. And then we've got some other things that some viewers have been asking about. We want to do a little Q&A and maybe get into some rabbit genetics. A lot of you folks have been asking about the genetics that it takes to make a New Zealand red, and it's a bit complicated. Not bad, okay? If you followed us this far in the rabbit genetics, you're going to be able to do it. We just gotta talk through it and see how it works, okay? Yeah, but right now we're talking about mini Rex babies, okay? So let's do it. Here's Kira. See her laying back there? She's just hot as can be. It is July the 8th, and my goodness. Oh yeah, we have been. You can hear the fan running in the background. I wish we had more fans. Pray for us. Hey, that's the biggest way you can help. You know, really, seriously. And our household can always use prayers. That's for sure. This is Kira. Let's look at some babies here. First, we're going to look at some blacks. Remember, Kira gave birth to 7 babies. She had 5 the first day, and then she had 2 more the second day. And we kind of went back and forth about peanuts and runts and what have you. And guess what? Both of those possible peanuts, they were runts. They got to be. Uh-oh. And I'm having an issue here. Alright. These are the babies. Look at this guy. Or gal. I haven't gender checked any of these. Actually, they're probably old enough. I don't know. Let's see. Sis, you want to help me gender check some babies?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on to these. We'll do the blacks first. Okay. And I'll grab this one. Let's see what we got here, folks. They don't want to let me. That's the little buck, little black buck. Now this is the one that we thought, this is a runt. Can you tell? Let me see this, borrow this one real quick. Can you tell the differences in size? My glasses are about to fall off, my goodness. Hang on to them there. Anyway, there, see the difference in size of these bunnies? Okay, here, hold that. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so far we've got one black buck. No, bunny. Folks, the way I do this, just in case you're wondering, I just kind of put the head kind of in between the wrist and try to sandwich it in between my body right there to kind of hold them still. And then I hold, my goodness, time for a new pair of glasses. And then I just hold the leg, and that pretty much makes them be still if I get it right there. It's a little girl. So the little runt black is a little girl. Let's see what we have here. See right here in between my wrist and my body, I kind of sandwich their head. If they can't turn their head sideways, it makes it hard for them to flip over. And so usually I just wrap the finger around that leg, and then that way I use my thumbs to check what I want to check, and that looks like another little girl. So out of the 3 blacks, that one looked like it was sliding into home. Out of the 3 blacks, we have two does and a buck. All right, sis. Take this one. That one's light. Worried about that one. It seems to have plenty of energy though. And folks, when you go to gender check your rabbits, which you should pretty regular anyway, since you got to look at that area anyway, be able to know whether or not they're showing any signs of having any kind of, you know, diarrhea, dysentery, or anything like that. Because this time of year, when they're loose, it's a deal where we have to worry whether or not they're keeping enough liquid inside them. And if they were to get diarrhea or dysentery, or whatever you choose to call it, and it wasn't closely watched, they could dehydrate each other pretty quickly, or each other. They could dehydrate pretty quickly because they lose a lot of liquid that way. Can you handle one more?
Are you done with this one?
No, I haven't done any of them yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Roll the shirt up over them if you can't. I better hang this one on. Hang on to this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty?
They're all so cute.
It's got a lot of white hairs in the pattern, but it's got some white hairs in the. But it's a pretty little thing. Let's see if you're a little buck or a little doe. That looks like a little buck. One buck. Come here. Come here. And of course you can be looking these guys over for any other signs of illness while you're doing it. Anytime you handle these guys, you should be paying attention, checking what you can check. You want to make sure there ain't no snotty noses, ain't no crusty eyes. Make sure naturally their bottom side isn't matted up from possible diarrhea. We just talked about that. Okay, see, that bunny was about to flip over because I didn't have its head. And I'm not squeezing, I'm just, that's a little doe. So we got a little doe right there. Now what we got? Okay, now this is the little runt. This thing feels light.
Oh goodness, oh goodness.
This one feels like they've been pushing it back from the food bowl, doesn't it?
Feels like it, yeah.
Yep, it doesn't show any signs of having diarrhea or anything. Poor little buddy. Look at it. It's so just tiny.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
You know, I don't think so, but there still is a possibility this could be a peanut. It doesn't show the deformities that peanuts usually do, though, so I'm guessing it's just a runt. I hope it makes it. It acts like it's losing, it feels like it's losing weight. But it's possible. It is possible. What do we have here? That looks like a little buck. So 2 bucks and a doe so far on the broken blacks. Ooh, look at this big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a chunker you are. What a chunker. Oh, see, I didn't get a good hold. I flip him over, I'll put his head right there and hold my wrist up. Hold his head straight. That makes it hard for him to flip over. Well, look at there. That's what I was hoping for. There's another little doe. So I ended up with 2 and 2. 2 and 2, and usually bucks, you know, are less needed than does. And not saying that I want it to happen, but if the little guy back there, if we were to lose him, he is a buck, and it would be easier to handle. Again, don't want to lose any of them. Want somebody to be able to love on them for all their life if it can happen. But in the end, just like with us, with bunnies and everything else, it's all up to God. They'll last or they won't last as is his choice. Now this is Morgan. Hi Sugars. She too is hot. You can tell they spend a lot of time around that water thing. She's to show you something here. Folks, that's not she's not been peeing on herself. That's not poop. She lays up against this water spigot and makes it slowly drip. And when it slowly drips, it soaks into her skin. And they've learned that. Some of them have, and they'll get up against that water spigot and make it ease just a little bit of water out onto them. If I was about to show this young lady, that would upset me. But being she's just a beautiful brood doe and she's not going anywhere, I just don't care. As long as we can keep as long as we can keep everything full of water where they don't run out, I don't care if they lay up against it and let a little leak out on their fur. So these guys are just about ready to wean. I probably should have done it already, if you want to know the truth. And honestly, type-wise, I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch. This is one of Blueberry and Iris's babies. I want you to look at this. Okay, nice loins on these guys. They're just showing nice type, real good dense fur. And this is baby fur. And look at this. Okay, really excited to see how this turns out as these guys get older. These guys could turn out to be.
He's on there digging.
He's going to China, he thinks. This could be. This little guy could end up being shown. You know, we don't know. Anytime I pull one out, folks, I want to look at the teeth. Yep, see them jumpers? They're just fine. Check the nose, make sure wet is okay. That's the moisture they're using to cool themselves down. It's just like when a dog pants and liquid drips off of their tongue and what have you. This is kind of the same concept. If it's yellowy, greenish color, white, anything other than clear, it might be cause for concern, okay? And you can also watch on the inside of their legs. If it's something that might be a concern, you're probably going to see matted fur right in here on either side of their front legs, right on the inside where they rub their nose. Okay? So you want to watch for that. That's the sign of sickness. I usually see that more in cold weather, but humid weather in Arkansas can cause it too. This air is so saturated with moisture, and especially with the fan going, you know, it's something to watch out for. But these guys are just gorgeous. Yeah, just a gorgeous guy. Yeah. Okay, get back in there. There you go. Yep, got them trained to do that. They want to get back home with mama. They don't want to be held. Okay, come out here. Let's see who we got next. This little guy here. By the way, of all of these youngsters in here with Morgan, there's one doe. That's the little castor. Okay, see this guy here? Genetically, he is a red, but he has poor color. See how light that color is? He looks more like a fawn. Okay. Now, red and fawn genetically are very similar. It's just in many wrecks they call it red. In other breeds, like say for instance Netherland dwarfs, they call it fawn. But genetically they're pretty much the same. Now, if somebody knows something different, this is according to my research. Okay, if somebody knows something different, knows someplace else, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. But that's what I'm getting from what I'm researching so far. Okay. But this little guy here, type-wise, these guys are just super. Can't ask for better. But color, he's just, I mean, he's a pretty guy. He's a pretty guy. And nobody's going to care what color he is except for the judge. If we find him someplace where he don't have to see a judge, we'll be just fine. Okay? This little guy, he too is a DQ, but we're going to hang on to him because he's a tricolor, and he's a buck. And he's probably going to get reacquainted with mama after he grows up. He is a booted tricolor. He too, I don't know, of the 4 that Morgan actually gave birth to, he is probably the least typey. Probably because he's the one that I need the most, right? But he is definitely better than his daddy. And he seems to be showing some good fur. I'm anxious to see what this is going to look like when that matures. Yep. Okay, now we showed you the little fawn looking. Now this is the same. Genetically, this is an identical rabbit to the first one we looked at. Okay? But see how much better this color is? Look at this color. Okay? At first, I thought this was a tort, a black tort. It's not. Okay? And the way you can tell, flip him over. He is an agouti rabbit. See the color markings here? Okay? He is an agouti rabbit. Okay? And basically all it is it's a double lowercase e on the E locus that makes this a non-extension, or it's a non-extension gene, a double, and it makes it actually show on the rabbit. And what that does is this is a castor mini rex. all the black guard hairs and on the tips, all the black has been taken off. Okay, it just the black slides off the end of the hair, and there's no black or very little black. There is just a touch in places, I think, right around the tips of his ears, and sometimes you'll see that because he's not a pure castor mix. He is a pure, or a red mix. I mean, he is castor to blue and fawn tricolor mix. Okay, so his color is not going to be ideal. Whoops. If you want red color to be ideal, you want to be breeding a red to a red. Now, I don't have the ability to do that yet, so possibly what's going to happen is sometime down the road, this red, if he hangs out here long enough, might get acquainted with this young lady. And I don't like to breed brother and sister, but we might do it on a test basis only. See this young lady? Her hair isn't ideal. Now see this light color on the side? I don't like that. Okay? I'd rather see this farther down, this pattern. You know, I'd rather see that darker. I don't like that marking, but again, get your best castor color by breeding a castor to another castor. I don't have that. Okay? I bred castor to tricolor mini rex. So what happens in my case? Well, it's quite simple. When this young lady grows up, she might want to get reacquainted with the father of this one. Don't look at it as something dirty, folks. It is line breeding, and it is very well acceptable as long as, number one, you make sure you look them over good and you call out hard any little thing that is undesirable. Okay? Any little thing. And any kind of breeding. Brother to sister is the least desirable way to breed for me. But I will do it on a test basis only, understanding that it could be possible that I have to terminally cull the entire litter. That I don't know until it's born. But, you know, I can't afford DNA testing, okay, to map out the DNA on all these rabbits. So it requires a lot of test breeding. And unfortunately, if nobody wants the bunnies, or if they have things turn out wrong with them, that is definitely something that you don't want to exist in nature. You have to cull it out. These guys are in cages. They're not out in the wild where nature can cull them. We have to cull them now. Okay? That's the responsibility man took on when we decided to domesticate them and keep them in cages. We have to help cull the herd now. Natural selection is hard. Does still exist to some degree in a domesticated animal, a rabbit especially, even in a cage, because still only the strong survive. But there is also things that humans can do to make a sub-quality or substandard rabbit, or something with undesirable genetic mutations. We can do things to help that rabbit live when it wouldn't live in the wild. Which means in most cases we're working against the way God intended. Guys right here, I'm going to tell you they need some handling because they're acting like their mama. Okay, they're just nervous as can be. These are the other two blues out of Iris and Blueberry's litter. This one's a buck here and one's a doe. And like I said, they're all just that super close to being weaned. They're ready now. Morgan and Iris, if they conceived, and that's something that's iffy because this time of year the weather's hot enough that it can make our bucks go sterile. If they conceived, Morgan and Iris are about a week or so pregnant. If they are not pregnant, then they probably won't become pregnant. This is where the rubber meets the road right here, folks. Look at these guys. And what you can't ideally tell all that we want you to be able to tell about them by just holding them up like this. And I don't have a table right here to pose them up for you, but just know that I've been looking at these guys really close and I'm happy. There's not really a rabbit in this litter that I'm not happy with. Like anything else, there's always good ones and bad ones. There's always some better than others. Quit it, guy. Come here. No. All right, cool it now. Hey, cool it. Cool it. That's what happens this time of year. Probably 9 to 10 months out of the year, we're out here every day for hours at a time, going around and handling all these guys. But when it gets so hot, we come out here, we make sure that their needs are met, and then we get back in where it's cool as well. And Lord forgive us if, you know, I guess in a way that's kind of, I don't know, I've got mixed feelings about that, but it's, for the time being, that's just all we can do, because I can't handle the heat out here. They may have a big fur coat on, but they're handling the heat a lot better than I am. Anyway, just so you know, there's also two, I think there's also two, I guess we can look. There's also, I think there's also two does, two broken does here. Okay, that's a buck. Hold him for a second, sis.
Come here.
Alright, come here, you. Come back here.
Ouch.
Now the way I do, now a lot of people, you'll see a lot of people flip a rabbit over. Hey, hey, enough. See, you're just going to make yourself hotter. Yeah, there's no need, no, come here. A lot of people will do this to gender check a rabbit. I can't, my hands won't work the way I want them to do it that way. When I'm gender checking, I try to tuck that head right in there, catch it. And then I growl when my glasses almost fall off. But, okay, that's a little buck. So I guess it's 2 bucks in a doe on both colors.
Here you go.
Whoop. No, I'll switch.
Okay.
Wait, have I checked that one yet?
Yeah, you already
Okay.
checked this one.
That's what I thought.
Hey, cool
Hey.
it.
Easy. Oh, by the way, hey, guys, I have had a lot of you tell me how much you like my shirt. Yes, I do change shirts occasionally, but I put it back on just special for you guys that like it, just for this video. Spider-Man's cool. Yep, that's the doe. Okay, so we've got, on the blues, we've got 2 bucks in the doe, and on the broken blue, we have 2 bucks in the doe.
They're so soft.
Yep, they are. They are indeed, but not too soft. They've got a nice texture coat. Yep. They need to grow up a little bit more. But we've got these guys all upset, and we've got them hot. Look at them laying there panting now because we've handled them all and scared them and what have you. And honestly and truly, this is another reason we haven't been making videos, because if we handle them too much, it does just that. Morgan and Iris, if they're pregnant, they've got more on the way. Either way, whether they're pregnant or not, that'll be it for this summer. Now, starting back about mid-August to 1st of September, we'll start breeding again. So, we will... we will start breeding again, you know, around September 1st at least. But it's so hot. Not only are the bucks not going to want to get down to business because it's so hot, but, you know, it's hard on them. It's exercise, and it's undue physical, you know, it's unneeded physical activity in this amount of heat and humidity. So, we're just going to pretty much leave them to their own, not to their own devices, but we're not going to stop breeding them for now. Again, Morgan and Iris, if they are pregnant, they are going to have 1 more litter. If they are not, then they still won't be bred. We're not going to breed them back until at least mid-August. If we start back in mid-August, it will depend on how much the temperature, if the temperature is starting to slack off enough. If not, we'll wait. Usually around September 1st is good, because keep in mind, your first babies aren't going to be born until the 1st of October anyway. So, and those will make ideal spring babies if you want to show. So, we'll just have to see what happens. We still got some Netherlands. Trying to get them. I need the space, folks. Somebody needs some Netherlands. Come deal me out of the whole herd. I'm ready to. I need to make more space for some more New Zealands and some more mini Rex, and we're ready to do away completely with the Netherlands. Somebody come make me an offer on the whole stinking herd. I think there's 8 of them altogether. Yep. somebody make me a reasonable offer, and you just might, and you bring enough carriers with you, you just probably take them home with you. All right. Okay, we're gonna cut this video off. I don't know if I'll get it uploaded today. Usually what I've been doing is when I've got more than one video that I'm getting ready to release, usually I'll wait 2 or 3 days and then release another one. So look for us in a couple of days and we'll have you some red New Zealands, and we'll give you an update on Mustang Sally's latest litter. Okay? Y'all have a great day and God bless.